of the things that's the big news is New Edition. So they announced over the summer that they've signed a multi-million-dollar deal with CAA, one of the largest um, agencies for talent in the world, and that includes sort of rebranding the group. They will have a Vegas residency in 2022 for a couple of months. Then they look to do a world tour, and maybe also put out a documentary and new music. And it's rumored that they'll all make millions as the six of them. And it's based on all six of them. I know in the past people have had rumors that and I know Ralph has toured very little. He doesn't tour as much as the rest. He has his sort of syndicated radio show and stuff. But you notice that it used to be Bell Biv DeVoe constantly on the road. Johnny on his own thing, and Bobby wasn't really doing too much. But now he's been being a lot more active since and it's that's where they if they have the lifestyle they need to actually be on the road and stuff, and they're headliners. But I think to have all six of them, properly getting their dues, because this type of exposure, this type of Vegas residency and a global tour is what gets them recognized. I don't know if Rock and Roll Hall of Fame might look into that, but a big agency like that, we talked about it. It's all about network. It isn't, it's not. It's all about connection. So these guys, what they would do is like, okay, they know all the big hitters in the Grammys and Rock and Roll Flames. They'll talk about, look, they got the buzz. We need to get them inducted. We need to get them a lifetime achievement award or something like that. But as a fan of New Edition, it's great to see what that can do, and the hope is that they can come up with new music, but also really put themselves together and really get their dues and stuff. But I mean, are you going to be looking forward to seeing New Edition, or do you think they've passed it?
I don't know why you asked me this question because I'm joking. No, you know what? I respect New Edition's legacy. I think that New Edition story that aired on BET done wonders for their legacy. In the same way that a lot of those type of movies, those biopics, do great to enhance and elevate your story for people, and it kind of makes people, even younger people, the audience, it resonates with them, just like TLC did one, Tina
Mm.
Turner, and it just kind of extended and elevated the legend of your career. New Edition, it's good to see all six of them, but it's just business. I don't think that they really get along. Um, but they've been able to get along enough to make the money. They see how much money and how profitable that brand is, and
Mm.
this is a good move for them. They have great management that recognizes how to cultivate their brand and find opportunities and things of that nature. But to me, it's just a business move. And again, like I said, I'm not. I know I'm hoping I don't sound negative. I'm happy that they're together, but I just recognize it for what it is. It's a cash grab, and they're getting their money. I've always thought New Edition's a little overrated, in my opinion. But
Overrated.
I do like them, but I do feel like they're overrated. And
Okay.
I wish I could join in the because with your channel, everybody loves New Edition, and I wish I could just join in the conversation and be happy. Like, yeah, New Edition. I wish I could, but I just don't
Wow.
feel that same way. I do, but again, that's a different era for me. So maybe it has a different, because they were young when they came out, and a lot of you probably were young along with them and you grew up with them. So it's a difference in me looking at them than you guys. But as when I really compare hits and record sales up against some of the other comparable acts, it's just like, I mean, usually you hear "Cool It Now," "Can't Stand the Rain," or if it isn't love. But
Yeah. But I no.
what
So
else?
when it
Once
comes
all
to
of this.
music, now of course when they Popcorn Love and Candy Girl, when that came out, that was early teeny
Okay.
boppy stuff, and we all danced to that. But then the middle albums didn't weren't really as good, especially after
Okay.
Bobby left. When Bobby
Right.
left, it just destabilized the group because he was, not that he was, it just because we knew all of them. So when he left, it was like, oh, and they came out with an album without him. Um, but we didn't hear much from Bobby until he came out with Prerogative, and then they came out with Heartbreak. Now, Heartbreak was to me one of their
Hmm.
better albums. It was just at the beginning, end of '80s into the '90s. It had those Jimmy Jam and Taylor Loose big hits, "If It Isn't Love" and "Stand the Rain" and "Boys to
Right.
Men." It had those sort of monster hits, Crucial, and
Hmm.
but what they did also, it the way what it also did is that it also elevated their performance because it was they really shone with their performance. And
Okay.
before then, the only other group that you'd see, we had the Temptations and the Jacksons, but the Temptations were known as vocalists and performers. And New Edition, that's the one thing that really shone with them. And
Was
you could
what? Their
their
performance.
their performance, how they perform as a group, as a five,
Okay.
how they constantly perform, and that was the imagery we got with them. So we got the music, but more so the performance around it.
Right.
And
But after that Heartbreak album, let's get to it. They broke up, right?
yeah, so
And they
after the
all
heart,
did
but then
separate
that's also
projects.
what made them bigger because BBD did
Right.
the Poison stuff, Ralph did his stuff, Johnny did his stuff, and Bobby was
But
doing
it's
stuff.
not because of New Edition. It's because of those solo careers. And it's hard for me to put them in the same breath as acts like Temptations and Jackson 5, who, you know, it's just hard for me to do that. I get why people make the comparisons, but I don't see it. I like New Edition. I know but I have to speak honestly. I
Mm.
do like some songs from them, but again, it may just be that it was a different era, but I don't get the level of, it's like this pedestal that they're on. It's like, I look at other groups like Troop. Like they were a great group, vocally crazy. Like, I didn't really pay attention to New Edition really vocally until Johnny Gill got involved. Like nobody really was on that level in that group. They were all serviceable. I like Ralph's voice was cute when it was young, and I like actually some of his solo material. Like I love Sensitive, whatever that
Sensitivity.
song
Yeah.
is. Yeah, Sensitivity. I love that song. That was one of my favorite songs growing up. But again, I'm not saying that they don't deserve any respect. It's
Mm.
this pedestal they're on. But okay, let's get back to the point. The point is they're back in touring, and that's a great thing for them. They've been able to navigate a breakup and a reunion and do it successfully. But like I said, I just hope it stays together and nobody falls out of line, like maybe a wild card like Bobby, or somebody that's been known in the past to be, even Ralph, that is known to be problematic and kind of, even though I've signed these papers, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
There's
I
a lot of
my
money
my
involved.
and I don't know. I think it is not easy, and I'm learning this, and I'm seeing them. It's not
Mhm,
easy having to leave your family and be on the road to make the money to go and live a life. It's not it's very strange that an album can sell and they're not really going to make anything from that. So their income comes from being on the road. They're not like an Ed
mhm,
Sheeran who, or Coldplay, can tour for a year and a half and then that's it. They've made over 100 million and they can just chill and relax and do what they want. R&B acts
mhm,
pretty much almost like every tour is like and there's a lot of competition for the market that they're in. I think their Vegas residency would be one of the biggest ones we've seen in a long time. I think it will surpass what we saw with Usher and any other group in a long time, just because people they're known for their performance. My best concert, I've been
mhm,
to hundreds of concerts, but seeing New Edition and then when they went tour in '98 and Blackstreet opened for them, having you had BBD do their stuff, you had Bobby do his stuff, Johnny did his stuff, Ralph did his stuff. Then all six of them came together. It was almost like, my goodness, they could have just
Yeah.
done their own
It's like a
show.
value pack
It
because it's
it
like
is.
it's groups
You
inside of groups and
Yeah,
artists they
and I
have
think
Yeah.
them breaking up and coming back was what made them sort of big stuff. Is because, like, wow, we all
Right.
had this little stuff and brought them back. I know for hardcore fans, it's going to be it's an exciting thing. They're going to be performing on the American Music Awards alongside New Kids in the Block, who made more money
Right.
because they were a sort of a white version of them, but they reached a bigger market. Like, and based on that, they
Right.
had the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. They all made more money because they made music that reached a wider population, and they don't need to tour. It's like, oh, we've got the money, but it's a sad thing that these guys in their 50s still have to be on the roads, to
Right.
make their money.
And
Uh,
that's why I wonder if, see, I'm glad you brought up that New Edition, I'm sorry, New Kids on the Block situation,
yeah,
because I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's behind the scenes trying to get a New Edition versus battle with New Kids on the Block. And see, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the catalyst to integrating white artists into that versus, because I could imagine from there, next thing you know, then we'll have Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. And once that versus battle starts integrating, involving the white artists, it's going to be a whole different thing. Just mark my words. It's going to
okay,
be a whole nother thing. It's no
okay.
longer going to be what it was. But I'm happy. You know what? I do sound like I said, I respect New Edition. If somebody
Mm.
bought me a ticket, and
If
said, "Hey,
somebody bought me a ticket.
yeah," hey, times I got bills to pay, so if I'm gonna pay for a ticket, it's got to be, you know.
Yeah,
But anyway, but if somebody bought me a ticket, I definitely go, and I know I would have a great time because, like I said, most of a lot of the fans clearly they've loved the group. They've
yeah,
probably witnessed a lot of great performances, and I would
yeah,
like to be a part of that. I would love to be converted as a New Edition fan. It's just like I said, you know,
yeah.
I look forward to seeing what happens with this because this is
And I was
great
just
for
say,
the
anyone who's
culture.
if you do go to see them live, which I've done, it's one of the best because, as I said, all
Yeah,
the Poison, the Sensitivity, my, um, Prerogative. You hear all that stuff, then you hear Telephone Man, Stand the Rain. You start there's a
don't
variety of
draw
different.
blanks. Is
You
there any
start
more? Please stop. Please stop.
I, hit me off. You don't have
Right.
to worry. I mean,
Oh, he
um,
okay.
hot
Okay.
tonight. You could
Okay.
you can get just see
Yeah.
you
But
smile again. Yeah, so
okay.
yeah,
Now,
so that
I want anybody going to that concert to definitely send us footage so we can, air it on our channel because that would be great. 'Cause,
yeah,
I really like to see everybody having fun and enjoying their favorite artists. So
yeah.
I hope, to see that.
Well, and I would say that my pledge for 2022 would be to have at least a third of them on the show, and that's the next big thing.
Mm,
I think
okay.
probably Ralph and Ronnie will probably be
Yeah,
the
Ralph
two
will
that
be
I
able
can
to do
see
it.
getting first. I think Ronnie just reminds me of somebody from Nigeria. He from
He does
so
have that look.
he has the
Yeah,
look, somebody from my tribe and stuff. So, and he just seems like the nicest of them. So I
right.
want to try and get him first. But anyway,